Okay, let's do a little case interview practice. Did you prepare, as I said, the McKinsey case?
Yes, I did. So I read through. I listened to earlier podcasts and
Okay,
also
awesome.
read
So
through it
the first
thoroughly.
exercise in learning how to do the case interview is doing a case where you perfectly well know the answers,
Okay.
because this is about acting. Yeah, you're smart enough, but you first have to learn what it should look like when it's perfect,
Yeah.
and then you can go for the harder cases. We first have to learn to put up your show act to to know what it feels like. So we'll do a little fun round and deal with the first question of the McKinsey case. And for everybody who's going to watch this later on, the case we are talking about. Let me share my screen. The case we're talking about can be found at mckinsey.com/in careers interviewing deconza. So, Mr. How do you pronounce your last name?
Chinkaya.
Shankaya. Mr. Shankaya, thanks for having
Okay.
me here. Um, you know, let's talk a little bit about a client situation I had personally. We were advising the Gates Foundation on benefits distribution in rural Mexico. It's actually currently the problem is that we are having people have to travel far. It's very time consuming
Okay.
to go to a bank branch to collect their pesos. And now the idea has come up to actually use a supermarket chain because they have 22,000 stores across Mexico.
Yeah.
And the Gates Foundation asked us to um, look into this. And I'm going to meet the head of the Gates Foundation tomorrow, and he asked me to whether we could use that supermarket network and whether we should leverage it.
Okay.
So, what do you think the team should investigate to determine the answers?
Um, so I think first of all, it will bring some benefits to the local community. So it should be investigated and measured how good these benefits are. So how much time will people save? What can they do instead with the time? For example, do they have to travel to the bigger city anyway to do
Then,
like some bigger
stop,
shop?
stop. Um, let's focus on the structure. First, clarify questions.
Okay.
Second, set up a structure for your answer. Okay, let's try this again. First, clarify the questions. Second, set up a structure for your answer and then fill in the structure. Let's try again.
Okay. Then first to clarify the question, how many bank branches are there? So but what's the main issue that people can't travel to the branches?
There's only they have to travel on average 80 kilometers to the next bank branch, and
Okay.
quite a long trip on bad roads.
And I know Mexico has an issue with security, I guess.
Sure, it's yeah.
Um, so I read the question before, so I know pretty much everything about it.
No, you're going now. Now you went off in a different direction. You're
Yeah.
already answering something I didn't ask you. What I
Okay.
want you to clarify is just one thing. Have you understood the question correctly? Sort of
Okay.
rephrase what I asked you. I heard that you asked me this and that. Is that correct?
Okay. So you want to ask? So you want me to figure out what the benefits will be for
Yes,
what
yes.
benefits
The
will be.
director asked me whether this what the benefits would be to the different stakeholders. Yes.
Okay. So then, I would go about this in looking at the different sections
No,
of who will.
wait. You missed something. There's two questions in this. Could and should. The question was, could we do it? And should we do it?
Okay.
Yeah.
And they want us to investigate if it's possible, the solution.
Yeah, whether it's possible and whether it's beneficial to the stakeholders.
Okay.
Exactly. Now you got the structure. But always, these guys sit there with the answer, and the answer has a structure, and you want to know what the structure is they are looking at.
Okay. I see.
So clarify this first. It will make everything so much easier for you later on.
Okay.
Good. So let's try this again. Okay, here's the question. Actually, what should the team investigate to determine whether the Consa network could and should be leveraged to provide a range of basic financial services to Mexico's rural population?
So first of all, I think, no, first of all, we should look at the staff who works in the Decosa stores. So how difficult will it be to skill them? And will it be, what's the cost of the infrastructure to put that into every store? I think especially with security, you mentioned before that security is an issue. So I think this will probably be higher security needed. So how much will the cost of that be? So that's for the infrastructure, and also on the benefit side of you, what would the benefit be to the previous branches? So I know in Western European countries, for example, lots of bank branches, like it's the trend is going to go downwards, but the few branches that remain, they only specialize on certain things like mortgages, which can't be provided anywhere else. So is there something similar where you need a highly skilled bank worker, so they could focus on that in the bank branches? So what would be the benefit of that? Then also for the stores, what's the benefit if they can take customers away from competitors, for example, and make people shop more at their own stores? They could have an increased profit. And then secondly, for the people, how much travel time would they save? Like I said before, would they actually not save any travel time because they have to go to the bigger city anyway? And yeah, I think those are the two main points.
Exactly. Now, look a little bit at what you did. You did half the job. Okay. You gave the answer, but you forgot to moderate the answer and to actually provide the mental structure. Yeah. You're giving a correct answer, but you're not a good shepherd of your listener. Okay. Always see yourself as the good shepherd. Are you Christian or Muslim or not?
None, actually.
None. Okay. I love the picture of the good shepherd. Be a good shepherd of your listener. Yeah. Who guides his flock through the valley of darkness. You're giving an answer, but you're not taking care of your listener. Okay. You should tell him, look, okay, now I'm breaking it down into two. My answer will be separated in two blocks. One is, should we do this? Which is to say, what are the benefits? And the other part of the answer will be, could we do this? Which is, what problems might we face?
Okay.
Yeah. 50% of your speaking time should be guiding your listener, not giving the answer.
Okay.
Yeah? You should. Okay. And then, so now I'm first going to focus on, should we do this, which is to say, what benefits could there be for the stakeholders? And I will break this down into the three stakeholders we have. One, the people. Two, the console stores. Three, the bank branches. Oh, and four, there's another one, actually the government, who could also benefit. Is that, yeah? But actually, I am not yet going to go into thinking about what the specific benefit is, but if I've understood your question correctly, it was about what should we analyze? What would be the analysis we could do, and what would be the data we could look at to determine if there is a benefit? Okay. This is the kind, and now I'm going to give you the answer. Okay?
Okay.
50% of your time should be around structuring this and helping the other person understand what you will now say.
Okay.
Most people are pressured into answers. They think, ooh, I got to answer now. No, you don't. Okay. Yeah? So let's try this again. What should the team investigate? What should the team investigate? To determine whether the Consa network could and should be leveraged to provide a range of basic financial services to Mexico's rural population.
Okay, so what could they? So first of all, we should investigate what they can. So sorry, I just got a blank again. So first of all, we have 4 stakeholders in here. So we have the population first of all, then we have the banks, then we have the stores, and we also have the government.
Let me. By just doing this, you've already made it 50% through the interview. Yeah. Okay. Just be aware of this. This is you've already made it 50% of the way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that simple. But most people forget about that.
I see. Yeah.
The ability to structure your thinking.
Okay. I guess it's quite important to deliver a clear message, right?
Don't worry about the clarity yes, but always think about being a good shepherd for your listener.
Okay.
And structuring things, breaking things down in manageable pieces. Sorry, that was very good. You made it 50% through. Okay. Yes, I think these are the 4 stakeholders. That's true.
Okay. And then, yeah. So from there, we can continue to what the benefits are for each of these stakeholders.
Yes.
So if you start with
you also want to talk about the what could be problems.
Oh yeah, and what the benefits and what the disadvantages are for each of these populations.
Jam, what I want you, if I ask a question like this, what I want you to do is to say, yes, of course, but this is the second part of my answer. I will deal with this later.
Okay.
Yeah, you give it a structure and you stick to that structure.
I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's continue with the benefits. Oh yes, and remember the question was not what could be the benefits. The question was what should the team investigate, which is to say what could be the analyses we could do. Okay.
Okay. So different things we should investigate then for, first of all, the Mexican population is how much travel time they save.
Yeah.
And if actually the trips there would be saving, if those trips are actually saving them time because they wouldn't have to do the trips to the larger cities anyway.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I haven't thought about that. It's true.
And what the benefit would be if they can actually access more banking services. Especially, I think we should take into account like the modern technology we have available. So it should be investigated if, rather than just having services in a branch, could that be made digital?
Yeah.
And then for the Decosa stores, it should be investigated and analyzed if it's possible that people that the stores would make more profits by drawing away customers from competitors, because they have to do their banking in the shops, so they would also make a shop purchase items in the shop.
Yeah.
And that's for the banks. We should investigate what the cost of the infrastructure would be, of moving the infrastructure from the different bank branches to the stores.
Well,
especially around.
It wouldn't be the banks dispersing the money. It would be the stores dispersing the money. The banks would just not have to do this anymore.
Okay. In that case, we need to investigate what the banks can do instead, and if they can make a higher profit by utilizing the workforce for specific services.
Okay.
And for the for the state bank, so that's for the state bank, and yes, that's everything.
The government?
For the government, would it lower the cost by having to pay the stores less money, or actually how much would it increase the cost? It's probably going to be more expensive to distribute it to lots of number of stores. Depends on how much infrastructure the store really needs, and then the cost analysis on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like that. Will be some good analyses.
And then so the negative sides of things, which we should investigate, is, do the stores actually have the capabilities? So is the staff, how much would training cost?
Exactly.
How much is the cost to put in the infrastructure?
Exactly.
And especially in Mexico with the risk of with high crime rates, how much money would we have to spend on protecting the money? Again, this is, I think, something that could be, if you made it all digital, that is something that could be saved. So I think another big area which should be investigated is, what would the cost be instead of to have mobile banking everywhere, instead of just having a bank branch which gives you cash.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And then let's look at what they put down here, where they said a very good answer would be, and that's a very interesting one. If they say benefits for the Gates Foundation of potentially providing a model that may be replicable in other countries. I think it's very interesting, because it shows that you think in broader terms, that you think outside of what's immediately asked. Okay. I would love it if you come up and say, well, these are the immediate stakeholders, but if we think about this, and especially since our client is the Gates Foundation, a project like this always has to be a compelling value proposition also for the Gates Foundation. So we should investigate whether doing this in one country would actually be replicable in other countries. I love it. Yeah.
See, yeah.
But this is something you have to get into your mind, that you're supposed to give answers that you were not asked for.
Okay.
Yeah. Sort of that you show that you think in broader terms. You think in all the stakeholders. What else is there?
Yeah, I think it's quite difficult to know what sort of extra stuff is. We could just like rumble about which is not relevant and which stuff would be good to mention?
No. This is the area where you're having limiting beliefs. If your mind tells you there is a chance that I'm just be rumbling about irrelevant stuff, then this will stop you from giving these great answers. You have to, for yourself, find a different meaning of the thought you just had. Yeah, the meaning you will not. You're a smart guy. You will not say irrelevant things.
Okay.
But you have to find a new meaning for yourself. The new meaning is, I investigate all interesting approaches and thoughts. You're not rumbling.
Okay.
Actually, you say, look, but I would also start to consider A, B, C, D, sort of the benefits. In this case, I could also think about the benefits for the Gates Foundation.
Okay, so have it in your structure at the end of it.
And the interviewer will guide you. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
They will tell you, they will tell you. If you tell them, look, we should also think about the benefits for the Gates Foundation. Then they will say, yeah, but let's just focus on the three stakeholders you already mentioned. Okay. Yeah, they will guide you. But this is really important. Get the concept out of your head that you could talk about irrelevant stuff, because this is the key reason that keeps you from performing. Yeah, if you're fearful of offering your thoughts, yeah, again, you're offering thoughts for discussion. You're helping your clients to think through every aspect. And the mental process is, we look at it, we think through it, and then we determine whether it's relevant or irrelevant.
Okay.
Don't preclude any thoughts. Just go through these thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Good. Awesome. Cool. Hey, I'll do more practice cases with other people. Watch them. I think that was amazing today. You moved from, initially it was hard to follow you because you sort of immediately jumped, you pounced on answers. And I was like, there was no structure in my head to deal with your answers.
Yes, I agree.
And now you've become a good shepherd of your listener.
Okay.
So it's really important. First, really understand, you have the picture you have to have in your mind is, there's a person sitting opposite of me that has these answers on paper.
Okay.
And their mental process is basically, will I now hear what's on here? And you have to first elicit, what is the structure that this person has on this sheet of paper? Then it becomes easy.
Okay.
So spend time on this. Say, like, okay, I've heard you. What I've heard, and really paraphrase the question. What I've heard you say is, you want me to tell you what the team should investigate.
Yeah.
And whether we should do it, which are the benefits, and whether we could do it, which are the risks. Okay. And ask clarifying questions. So do I understand this correctly? You don't want to talk about the results yet, but you want me to come up with what are the correct analyses.
Okay.
And it will say yes. And if he says no, then there's something else on this piece of paper. And don't start until you feel like you know what this person has in front of them.
Okay.
Then it's easy. You see how easy it was once you had the structure.
Yeah.
I mean, these answers are not difficult. Yeah. Where we look at if security works, do we need to train them? Are they going to be interested in doing this?
Okay.
Sure.
What about other case studies though, which are like more about mergers and stuff like that? I think I need to practice those frameworks for them, right?
Sure. There's look at a couple of frameworks, but it's this is not these you're they know you are a software engineer. You're
Okay.
not an MBA.
Yeah.
So they don't expect you to know these frameworks perfectly, but just study a few frameworks. Of course, there's great materials online on how you learn this kind of structuring, but don't never go in there saying, what framework should I use?
Okay.
It's not about that. It's, yes, I need to come up with a framework that matches the current situation.
Yeah.
But this is not an exam. This is not a university exam on frameworks.
Yeah, I mean, for this case, for example, I don't think any framework would be suitable, right? So you would have
there's
to.
no framework. There's no.
But I'm a bit concerned about the more business related things when it comes to like how should we merge these two companies. I feel like there's a set structure you have to know sort of to.
No, don't get rid of that thought.
Okay.
No, this is not a university exam on business administration.
Okay.
This is what did I teach? This is the common sense and basic math interview.
Yeah.
Do you have common sense? Should we merge these two companies? Well, if we should merge these two companies, probably you should see is there benefits to merging them, and are the risks worth it?
Okay.
That's about the framework. Yeah.
Just okay.
Yeah. What's the benefit? What's the cost? That's about all the framework you need.
Common sense again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the common sense and basic math interview.
Okay.
So you should learn frameworks to understand what frameworks are, but this is not a frameworks exam.
Okay.
List 5 frameworks in detail. No. Have a good conversation with me about a client's problem. Yeah, this is not. And if they ask you to analyze an industry, well, here's what I would look at in an industry. What are the other guys doing? Can they sell it cheaper? What did they do differently?
Okay.
Nobody expects you to have some specialized academic knowledge.
Okay.
It's not what this is about.
I see.
Yeah, we'll do if this is, but I'll do videos with people on mergers cases, but you will see it's common sense and basic math.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for being the first one to do this. There was huge learning in that today.
Yeah, thank you so much for it.
That was good. That was fun. And keep posting stuff in the group and do the challenges I put up. I mean, it's practice, and exposing yourself.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll just not be the first one. I'll just wait for others to do it first. But yeah, thank you.
Cool, Tim. Thanks a lot as well. That was good fun.
Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
You too.